How are you doing? My name is Alexander Higgins. I'm the author of the Exact Quotes Test, United States Constitution. The Exact Quotes Test is also known as the American Test. The American Test, I am claiming, is the gold standard of American social sciences. On here you see an American-style flag as well. In the Union area there, or the blue area, you see a circle, triangle, and square. You see a plus, minus, and equal sign, and you see a truth is greater than or equal to belief. So truth is always greater than belief, except in a few rare instances. But usually truth is the greater of the two, and they are often not the same. Belief never surpasses truth. Anyways, I'm saying gold standard of the American social sciences on here. Back to that. That's a pretty bold claim to make. I think that's an easy goal to achieve in today's academic world or in today's government world. Okay, when I'm talking about the academic world, I'm talking about not just high school and college. I'm talking about places that have education as well, such as inside the military or inside different types of government institutions, whether it be the DMV, the Department of Veterans Affairs, or other places, okay? So gold standard of the American social sciences. Basically what this does is it sets a hard metric standard for the social sciences. It's something that we can all agree upon. We will all agree that this is objective if we are reasonably minded. Okay, and it's about something that is central to all of America, to the society of America. It's studied in a concrete, logical, scientific manner. What are we going to study that's central to the United States of America and central to all social science subjects and all American science subjects, if we're going to do something about them on a society scale? That is the U.S. Constitution, okay? Societies have laws. The supreme law of America is the U.S. Constitution. Real simple. Now, we can all agree to that. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. But there needs to be a method for studying this Constitution. What's the most objective way of learning this Constitution? That is the exact quotes test of the United States Constitution. What can we agree about the Constitution? Well, we're not all going to agree about the interpretations of the Constitution. America can't agree about what the Constitution means yet, okay? We don't have any idea what's in the Constitution as a society. A few people here do, a few people here and there have an idea as to what's in the Constitution. But as a society, collectively, we do not know what is in the U.S. Constitution. What does the exact quotes test do? Basically, there are 110 different exercises in this book, okay? There are multiple choice exercises. They are quotes recognition exercises. They're composed of chunks of the Constitution, usually paragraphs of the Constitution or portions of paragraphs of the U.S. Constitution. That's what these quotes identification exercises are composed of. They cover the entire preamble, the entire main body, with the exception of 2 paragraphs, and they cover the Bill of Rights, okay? So there's a whole Bill of Rights in here, there's a whole main body in here, and there's a whole preamble in here for the quotes identification exercises. Beyond that, there's a series of writing exercises as well that make people write about each and every single article and section of the U.S. Constitution. Beyond the articles, there are also amendment exercises, writing exercises, and for those amendment exercises, people are to write which article and section of the Constitution is affected by those amendments, so people understand what the amendments are. They are not just random changes, but they are changes to particular articles and sections of the Constitution, in theory. But people should read those words for themselves. This is based on people learning the words of the Constitution themselves. It's based on people reading the Constitution themselves and seeing it with their own eyes, and knowing that text well, and knowing that structure well. A lot of people ask, well, why not just have a Constitution online and read the Constitution that way? Well, what this does is this makes you read the U.S. Constitution, but it makes you read the Constitution really, really well, okay? Instead of having a Constitution online that you can reference, what this does is this puts the U.S. Constitution in your brain, okay? So when you're not looking at anything, you can pretty much recite a whole Constitution. You know, that Article 1, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution names the two main bodies of Congress and states what they do, and then you know that Article 1, Section 2 mainly focuses on the House of Representatives and names the powers that are exclusive to that House of Representatives, and then Section 3 of Article 1 focuses more on the Senate, and then Article 1, Section 4 focuses on times, dates, and locations and methods for electing congressmen and the meetings of congressmen, and it talks about the joint powers between the state and federal government over such things. And I could go on and on and on, all the way through each and every single article of this whole Constitution. I can write a whole Constitution if I sit down, okay? Pretty much. I mean, not each and every single word, but if I just sat down in a room with a few sheets of paper, I could go through each and every single article of the Constitution and describe all of those articles, as well as each and every single amendment, okay? I'm not that smart. I'm an average guy. I was a bosun mate in the Coast Guard. I participated in federal law enforcement missions, but I'm not really the brightest tool in the shed. If you ask why I made this book, it's just because I wanted to deliver facts to the American people. I got sick of watching the news. I got sick of seeing it happen. I got sick of sharing about the news on Facebook. Instead of sharing about the news, I wanted to share about laws, and I wanted to empower Americans to do something about that. I want almost every American not just to have a Constitution that they can read. I want all Americans to have the U.S. Constitution in their minds, okay? Is what I want that. So when they go to talk to public officials, that way when large groups of Americans go to talk to public officials or they have a protest, it's not just an angry protest. They're talking articles, sections, and text of the Constitution. And they might be a little bit angry or whatever, but they're not just angry. It's focused on presenting their legal arguments to that group of people. And they don't have to be law school graduates or anything like that. This is based on large groups of people telling the government what it needs to do. It's not just about cops, saying that a mob is angry. It's about the mob telling the cops what they should do with regards to the U.S. Constitution, not with regards to what public media is saying cops should and should not do. Okay? That's what this is about. It's about creating a stable rule set in our society. It's about Americans naming what exactly are the rules in society. It's not about somebody coming on the news and coming up with some type of high schoolish propaganda type of argument to change around a few laws and manipulate the culture so they can rip us off. Okay, it's not about that. The exact quotes test is about empowering the fourth branch of government. This is very practical. In here, there's a whole education proposal in here. There are metrics in here. Again, this is the gold standard of the American social sciences. We set metrics. We set hardcore things. They are mathematical. They are precise. In this book, everyone knows that the exact words of the U.S. Constitution are the exact words. This puts that Constitution in their brain. It puts the exact articles, sections, and text of the Constitution inside the everyday American's mind, okay? And you can do this whether you're a truck driver, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're a janitor, a housewife, Maybe you just got out of the service and you want to get into politics. This is an excellent book for you. This is meant to empower all Americans. This can be sold for $10 per book. That's why this book was developed. It's developed on Barnes & Noble. This is also sold under another title called The American Test. This is highly effective education. There are 5 constitutions in here. There is one correct full text constitution that you would read regular style, printed in this book with the whole preamble, main body, and all 27 amendments. What else is inside this book? What about the 4 other constitutions? Well, between those 4 other constitutions, they are again in the 110 quotes identification exercises. In those quotes identification exercises, there is one correct constitution or one correct 1787, 1791 constitution, meaning a whole preamble, a whole main body, and a whole Bill of Rights. And then for the other 3, those are incorrect constitutions, okay? They are broken down into chunks, but if you add up all the correct answers from those quotes identification exercises, if you add up all those words, you get a whole or almost a whole 1787, 1791 Constitution. If you add up the correct answers, okay, you'd get one correct Constitution out of that. And what this makes an American do is it makes an American answer in exact accordance to the exact words of the U.S. Constitution. Okay, so you really got to watch it when people are interpreting the Constitution. So, for instance, Amendment 10 just doesn't say states have rights. No, states have rights, but also people still have rights. So the Constitution still reserves rights to the people, because people are mentioned, individuals are mentioned in Amendment 10 just as much as states are. And also Amendment 10 says that there are state restrictions, okay? The states have rights except those prohibited to the states. So people need to read all this type of stuff about what the Constitution is. And some of those things that are prohibited to the states are good things, okay? States are prohibited from making bills of attainder, granting titles of nobility, and passing ex post facto laws, okay? But there's all kinds of stuff in the Constitution. There's more to the Constitution than just a First and a Second Amendment right. There's more to the Constitution than just regurgitating tales about George Washington and Gouverneur Morris. A lot of people don't know who Gouverneur Morris was. There's a question in here about him. But anyways, the best way to learn the Constitution is to engage the exact words of the Constitution. This will make you read the Constitution several times. It will make you read it meticulously, and you will have to think of all kinds of creative ways to put that Constitution in your brain, okay? You will know the exact articles, sections, and text of the U.S. Constitution. You'll be able to just, you'll have mad article, section, text, Constitution game when you're talking to the government, police officers, military, senators, local legislators, whoever. Exact quotes test, also known as the American test. At Barnes & Noble, there's also a Facebook page. Search exact quotes test United States Constitution. And I think you guys got it. Gold standard of American social sciences. Proposal for the social sciences. This is the most objective social science proposal out there. This is the gold standard of American social sciences. Gold standard of American social sciences. Exact quotes test United States Constitution. The American test.